Gentlemen?
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, Cyclone Duke here once again with Gentlecast and another TF2 gameplay. Today I'll be continuing to play as the medic, using your overdose as my syringe gun, the typical Medi-gun, and then the Uber saw. Very standard setup, nothing wild going on here. Now today, as we're watching the gameplay, I'd like to talk about how to play your game as a medic and how you can improve and be a good teammate. First off, if you are a medic, you're a credit to team, because simply by living and just being near your teammates, you are going to be incredibly useful. Just healing your friends is going to make a big difference to the game, even if you're not pushing out with Ubers, and even if you're not dominating the whole team with your pocket heavy. Just hanging around and healing your friends is going to really keep your team's pushing power up. But to do that, you got to stay alive, and Uber sawing a heavy isn't the best way to do that at times. So, when you're playing medic, what should your main goal be? I would say to stay alive. Often I see medics, they pocket a heavy or a friend, and they just follow their patient into near certain death. As a medic, you should not in general be going out as far forward as the heavier classes might be, soldiers, pyros, demos. They get right up there into the front lines. They get in the enemy's face. You need to not do this as a medic. Whew. Or you will soon regret it. You can run fast, but you're not terribly tough, and the syringe gun is, while good in certain cases, if someone is following you in a straight line, you can really tear them apart with the needle gun. In most situations, you cannot stand up one-to-one versus most classes. Now the pyro in this case is standing still and then going in a very obvious path to flank us. So I am going to be getting a good few Uber saws in today, killing a few people, but in general, if you're just trying to get your medic game down, support your team, don't take any big risks. If you die, your team needs to wait for your respawn timer for you to come back and heal them all. Now right there, that area right there is full of enemies. I'm not going near there, I'm keeping my eye on that door. I see this pyro, I know he's going to cut me and my medic friend up into bits, so I pop the Uber. Better to pop it than to drop it. On payload maps, whenever you're attacking, it's best not to stand on the cart. Stay near the cart. Heal the people who are pushing. You're going to help push the cart an awful lot more by staying back and healing the people who are pushing. This means that they can just keep pushing and pushing, and that the enemies are going to have a hard time killing them. Much more of a hard time than if you were standing beside them getting killed. And that's my general thesis of playing medic. Stay a little bit back. Heal your friends. Keep them alive. Help them kill people. But do not run in front of your patient. Do not run into dangerous areas. Like that pyro right there. As soon as I saw him, that's a pyro at close range. I need to back away immediately. Do not wait until you're already on fire, because at that point the pyro is going to be too close to you and you're going to die anyway. As a medic, every person on the enemy team is out to kill you and only you. If you ever watch any kind of Highlander or 6v6 or any professional level kind of game, the medic is the #1 priority above all other people on the team. If you kill that medic, your team is going to push. So you know, check out right here, my medic friend is using the amputator in the middle of all of the action. He's lucky he didn't take a sticky or a rocket to the face and get killed. He wasn't being careful. Luckily I was there to help keep him alive. When you have an Uber, you gotta face a tough decision. The longer you walk around holding your Uber out, the more chances are that you're about to die and lose your Uber. And as I said, it's better to pop it and waste 2 seconds of your Uber because you're not fighting anyone than it is to get sniped half a second later and completely die. Your goal starting off as a medic should just be to stay alive. You will inevitably build up your Uber. Don't take risks. It means you're going to push out with an Uber and, you know, have a good time. We got a bonus spy clip here. That poor medic. So we're playing right here now on Barn Blitz. Yes, I love Barn Blitz. Had an awesome game right here. as medic, supporting my team, and we're going to see here the power of a medic to help your team stand their ground, to not give the enemy any room to push forward, because your team are always present, always healed, always fighting. You are denying the enemy team the ability to move through an area. When you are a medic hanging around, staying safe, healing your team never has to fall back, and you can just choke the enemy into this point, never stopping. And that is why medics are so important in many games, because your team has pushing power, they have standing power. They have the power. It's like you have, if everyone on your team is overhealed, your team has 50% more health than the other team. It goes without saying, it's a very powerful tool. So we're defending the first point here on Baron Blitz, and I've got this Uber ready. There's not too much of an opportunity to use it because we are still holding the ground outside these guys' spawn. There's not a whole room for the enemy to push out. There's not a whole room to push them back. And if we fall back a little bit, they will cap that first point. But not to worry. All I gotta do is stay safe, stay moving, keep my team healed up, and we'll see if we can hold this ground here. Now, one very important thing that you want to do as you're playing medic is never stop moving. And this is something that you should do on all classes. As soon as you stand still, that's when the spy right there is going to try and backstab you, or that's when the sniper is going to take his shot. You've got to constantly be moving as a medic while you heal your friend. Stay back. Stay back, go left to right, walk around, check your back now and then for a spy. You've got to be aware of your surroundings. And this is generally what you want to do. Heal your friend, stay a little bit back, and move. That's all you gotta do. Stick with that, stay alive. You're gonna basically win the game for your team. Now, something else that I think is important for folks to think about is when you've used your Uber, and your Uber, once your Uber runs out, you're not invincible anymore. You've probably just killed a whole bunch of enemies, and they're going to be looking right at you to finish you off, to put you down. You got to think of your escape plan before your Uber runs out. When you've got about 1 second, 2 seconds left on your Uber before it starts to flash and fade away, that's when you got to turn around and run. Do not hang around after an Uber unless there are no enemies around. You got to retreat, fall back, live to fight another day. Again, top priority, stay alive. Even if you don't have a fantastic Uber, even if you don't get the enemy sentry, if you don't wipe out their whole team, don't worry about it. Fall back. Don't stay and die for the sake of trying to kill more people, because that's not a good gamble. Go for the sure thing. Go for the guaranteed win. Fall back a little bit. Heal up. Let your friends fall back with you. Live and push out with another Uber. It's only going to take you 40 seconds to charge up an Uber if you are healing friends who have been hurt. And this tags on to what we were talking about in the last video with the beginner medic tips. You can see a lot of this being done here now. As I play, I'm staying back, I'm healing this pyro, but I'm not going right into their spawn as little as possible. Moving around, trying to keep a distance. Another thing you want to avoid staying right beside your patient is, pardon me, and this is a mistake that unfortunately you see a lot of medics do, and I kind of feel bad for them, because if I see a new player and he's playing medic, he's got the right state of mind. He's being a medic. He's got off to a good start right there. And I hate to see these players punished for making mistakes, and they think, well, medic sucks. I keep dying as medic. This isn't fun. That's bad. You want these players to stay medic, because medics are awesome. But one mistake that happens is they're healing their heavy and they stand right behind him, or they stand right beside him in a little corner and think that they're safe. When you are healing a patient, never stand right beside them. Never stand so close to them, because what's going to happen is all of the team are going to see this heavy or this pyro or the soldier or whatever, And all of the demo men, all of the soldiers, they're going to be throwing everything that they have to try and kill this overhealed monster. If they can't get you, they're going to go for him. But if you're hugging your patient and you're right beside him, that rocket or those sticky at his feet is going to hit you, and that's going to kill you. Keep your distance. It's not like you heal for more when you're closer or anything, you know? And the Medi-gun beam stretches quite a stretch. I mean, that's stretching that heavy from quite a distance. You know, this is what you want to try and do. Hang back, stay moving, stay safe. And when your Uber's running out, get somewhere safe. Now, I'm living quite a long life here. Whew. Staying cautious, it pays off. I haven't been keeping count of how many Ubers I pushed out in this life, but it's a decent amount, and all I'm really doing is just trying to stay safe. Look at all those blue guys. I'm not going out there. If you gotta do it, let your patient die. Do not ever, ever feel bad that you run away and allow your patient to die. That is, you know, what? Is your patient going to complain that you've been healing them for 5 minutes and now you decide to leave them? You know, they've no right to complain. You got to keep yourself safe. If you can keep your patient safe and alive, that is super awesome. But any good TF2 player will understand that if them dying means that they distract the enemy long enough to ensure that the medic gets away and lives, that's a good trade. That is a good trade. He's trying to hit the mini sentry with his extinguisher. And of course, although it's not recommended, if you can kill 3 people with 3 Ubersaw swings, yeah, take that chance. Sometimes, I mean, you'll see this as I'm playing, sometimes I just say, forget it. I want to have some fun, I want to Ubersaw a pyro in the face. It's not, you know, it might not be super smart, but hell, it's fun, guys. And that's what the aim is. That is definitely the aim. Right here, that NG, I could have stood and fought him. I'm sure I could have sliced his face open with my Ubersaw, but I did not want to lose all of that Uber from the Ponsum. That is a very interesting weapon and mechanic that they've put in. And if you want a tip on who you want to Uber, just take a look around. Don't stick yourself to one class too much. If you see a good pyro and the pyro's doing good, or if you see a pyro doing his taunt with the Phlogistinator and he's going to have crits, Uber him, go for it, you know. Above all else, Uber good players. I would Uber a good scout over a bad heavy any day. Don't put too much faith into the classes and think, this guy's a heavy, I gotta Uber him. You know, no way. I've Ubered engineers using the Widowmaker before, and it was awesome. I Uber scouts now and then. If I see this scout and he's dodging rockets and he's killing people, I will happily give that scout an Uber. If they're that good, they know that they will be able to use that Uber and they will protect you. And, you know, they'll make use of it. Value the player and the skill of your patient over their class. But hey, wow, holding Barnblitz on the first point. We lost, for a bit of a looking back, guys, we lost that first point of Barnblitz about 5 minutes ago. There was 5 minutes on the clock that we have been holding this point with our spawn further back. I do believe you lose that first spawn point. When you lose the first point as defenders, your spawn gets pushed back. And we held this ground for 5 minutes because we had a medic. Awesome class, awesome game. Thanks for watching, guys. All the best, and as always, have an exquisite day.